Get ready to enter the vortex. Starring Vandita.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Anal Retentive Housewife. I'm Vandita. Today's episode is called Top It Off, and we're going to talk about how to decorate your tables in a festive yet practical manner. And let me demonstrate a few examples. We're going to look at my dining room table, which is where I'm standing now, the breakfast nook, as well as the coffee table in the living room. So we're going to look at three separate settings for formal and informal entertaining. Okay, let's start with what we have here. First of all, we have a longer and larger than needs be tablecloth, which I purchased on sale. Don't purchase any of these items at full price. It's a nice festive pattern, and it sort of does a tone on tone with the pattern on the table with the pattern on the rug. Now you'll notice these little things I have at the bottom of each corner. And what this is actually a weight to keep a tablecloth on a picnic table. And what I've done is put it at the bottom here so that my hems on the table fall nicely and neatly. Okay. No table is complete without a table runner. So what I've done is purchased a table runner from my favorite store. You all know what it is. And they have table runners at a quite reasonable price. And this could go with any of a number of other colors. So you can mix and match. Try to stay with a similar color theme so that you can mix and match from the breakfast nook to the dining table. And as you can see, the dining here is pretty informal, and I don't have a huge table to entertain. But anyway, so I have this. Now, to properly make a nice table setting, you can do a number of things. What I've done is, let me see if I can move this a little bit so you can see this better. I like to put 3 items on each table because 3 is a very good number. If you put one thing, sometimes it looks a little empty. If you put more than 3, it can look a little busy. So what I've done is I have a wine holder here, which for now, since it's not holding any wine, I put in a candle. Okay. Then in the middle, I've put a nice crystal vase. And the reason for putting this on top of it is that dust does not collect on the inside. Also, it's a nice creative touch. Okay, and this I put a little, this is another little crystal vase, and I put a bunch of candles, and it sort of gives it a multiplicative effect, if you will. And since it's beige, and the table runner at least is yellow, or sort of a dark beige, it keeps all the tones in the same group. Now, these are olive holders, and so if you happen to buy a large jar of olives at your warehouse store,
You mean like the one that's rotting in our refrigerator as we speak?
olives don't rot. These are great. You can put them side by side.
Vandita, whatever possessed you to get the 300-pound jar of olives?
It looked really yummy.
It did look yummy, and it was pretty yummy for the first, say, 70 or 80 servings.
Oh,
We've
we've
barely-
only had it once or twice.
No, we've barely made a dent in that jar. It's going to last forever.
Well, I have actually recommended to other people I see in line, and I said, don't worry, you'll love the olives.
I got an idea. Why don't you package it up into smaller packages and sell the olives out front? See, and then...
Well, I'm thinking maybe it's time to entertain, to get rid of some fancy foods.
I see.
That's another good way to get rid of fancy foods, by the way. If you have too many things you bought over the holidays, just have some people over, Make a bunch of leftovers. They'll never know the difference. Okay, but that'll be my Van Can Cook episode or something. Okay, so we can do that.
We're not really going to ever have an episode with you cooking, I hope.
Yes, we are. It's on the list. Now, another thing, if you don't have, crystal vases, be creative. Use items you have, perhaps an old lamp, or pitchers for pouring water, whatever you have around the house. You could also use something like this, which again is a set of 3. And what these are to serve little bruschettas or, little pieces of bread, little crackers, little appetizers. And what I've done is I've stacked them all neatly, like so. Mostly for effect. That way when I want to use them, instead of as decoration, I can actually use them in, practical terms as well. And to go along with that, I have a huge bowl, which is this lovely bowl, and it goes very nicely with the stainless steel motif. One thing a bowl is good for, if you put it in the middle of a table, is holding napkins. And so I like to keep my napkins also matching and pre-folded so it's ready for instant entertaining, should the need arise. So these are all pre-folded. By the way, don't wash napkins, get them dry cleaned. That way they won't shrink on you, as napkins are known to do.
Well, if you just wash all of them together, they'll just shrink together, right?
Yeah, then you have to iron them. There's all kinds of issues. Trust me, it's easier this way. And then you can just put it in the bowl, and you can even make the bowl, if you arrange the napkins in an interesting manner, another little decoration. Look.
Lovely.
Isn't that fun? Okay. A creative idea, if you want to get a little interesting on your tabletop decorations, is instead of buying a table runner, which can be quite expensive, it's to use an old scarf as a table runner.
Could you use a new scarf as a table runner?
You could indeed.
So it doesn't actually have to be worn around anybody's neck?
No, but see how this would add, if I had a white tablecloth, this would add a nice wintry look to the decorations.
I see.
Or if I had a red, maroonish something, type of tablecloth. So that's another idea. Hot off the tip press. And you don't need to change these every day. The decorations will keep for quite some time. If your cats, however, like to get on tables, as one of mine does, or one of ours, I should say. It's not really my cat.
No, it's your cat, definitely.
No. Is I do need to change the linens periodically. But in order to keep the area clean, I can just use a lint roller and dust off the table. This also keeps the wood, which, okay, it's pretty crappy wood. No, it's not bad. But it keeps the wood nice and clean. So that's one of the ideas. And I don't put the chairs around the table only because if I need to clean immediately around the area, then the chairs will only get in the way. This way I can just keep this, it's out, ready to go. When it's not, I just pull it back up against the wall here. We're going to move now to the living room, and I'm going to show you how to dress up a coffee table. This is yonder kitty that I was speaking of that makes a huge mess in and around the house. So I've had her gabuzzed. See her little Dr. Seuss tail? Isn't that cute? Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, she makes a huge mess everywhere. So one needs to get a lint brush to clean her little messes. And it's very handy to gabuzz the pets so that they're gabuzzed, so that their hair doesn't fall all over the floor. And it's also quite practical, I might add. We will have to do an episode about that in the future. But for now, we'll stick to the topic at hand, which is tables. Here we have my coffee table, which is on wheels. So again, it's easily movable to clean underneath. The last thing you want is a coffee table that you can't move and therefore can't clean underneath. Because why have stuff unless you can clean in and around it, and it itself. Okay, now if we look here, we have, it's a glass coffee table, so it's pretty easy to take care of, and a lower rung as well. Now on the top I have a nice, what we call it, what's it called? A tea cloth. And
Okay.
if you're not traveling to England anytime soon to get a tea cloth, you can grab one of these at the little gift store at Filoli Mansion, or probably at the Allied Arts Guild in Palo Alto. So you have one of these, and here we have a lovely topiary. Now let me explain to people
That looks dead to me. I don't know.
let me explain to people what a topiary is. It's a plant that has been shaped into some formation that's easily recognizable, as in a ball, or perhaps a shape of an animal, you know, the Edward Scissorhands look. Anyway, I got this for my mother the year before, for Mother's Day. And here's the phone call I received. Now mind you, I paid a pretty penny for this thing, which is why it's back here. But she's very excited, very excited. I'm like, oh, happy Mother's Day, Mother. And then she's like, opening the box, and she's like, can we return this? This is bad. And I said, it's a topiary, Mother. It's freeze-dried flowers, and you're supposed to decorate it. And she's like, oh, I don't know. Where can I put it? So, and she was about to give it to my sister, which is all fine and well, but I was like, shoot, man, I'm going to keep it because I, like, you know, effing paid for it. So, here it is. Word to the wise, get your mother exactly what she asked for the holidays. Exactly. For any holiday. Otherwise, you risk, if you get a little creative with a gift, you risk rejection.
I generally just send my mom a check.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Your mother would die if you sent her a check.
Yeah, she would actually.
She'd just be like, ah.
Yeah, she'd be like, wow, $25. You shouldn't have.
Yeah, that's more than they gave us for...
Hey, shush.
Okay. Word to the wise on flower and gift giving. Yeah, this year I gave my mother an orchid for Christmas from the same...
Was it dead?
Well, then with the orchid, she's like, oh, thank you. Should I plant it outside? It's like, no, even
Not
in
unless you want it to look like the topiary.
It's gonna die. So, yeah, I don't know what to do. I think I'm just giving up on the flower theme with my mother. What can you do? Anyway, now if we move to, so that's my story on topiaries. And for those of you who have foreign parents, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, now underneath we have two lovely crystal vases, which are also quite heavy. Now one fits neatly inside the other. Should I ever move the topiary off the table, I can put, so for example, I could put this right here and put this bowl underneath. Now these bowls are great for Halloween candies, cough drops during the winter cold and flu season, Easter candies, whatnot that you want to put in there. What I've put into the smaller bowl is small tea napkins, which match this, and I also got these at the Filoli Mansion up in, it's in Redwood City or nearby. Anyway, so these are what they call tea napkins, just little napkins when you're serving tea to your guests. And there's a set of 4. So this way, they're all set, ready to go, and I'm not looking around for where all my supplies are when I need to entertain. They're right here under the table. They're already ironed, they're already pressed, and they're all ready to go. Now I know a lot of you have TVs and remotes, as do I, and sometimes those can dominate a coffee table. That's really inappropriate. If you have remotes, try not to have them on the table in the living room, because in the living room you want to entertain and speak with people and not necessarily be distracted by a TV, which really limits good adult conversation. What I've done with my remotes is I put them in this nice little remote organizer, and I go through phases of remote organizers, but I really found this one to be quite a bargain, or as I would say in Boston, a baggin'. And it holds all the remotes quite nicely, and we'll probably fit a nice little TV guide or something like that in the back. Anyway, and I put the most popular remote right here. You're probably asking, why is this the most popular remote? Because it fits easily into your hand. It's not too fat. It's not too small, so you can't find it. So it's not too thick, not too small. The perfect size remote, in my opinion. And you can see there's many others, none of which match the others. I decided to give up on that battle a long time ago. Anyway, and if you're organizing your remotes, and if you do want to put them on the coffee table, put them in something like this that can be easily moved out of the way. And so you can put them like this. You put one in each box, however you see fit. And if you look inside each remote, there's nice little Varta photo batteries that we know don't, or tend not to leak, which is a good thing. So, here we go. So we put this like off to a side counter or side table. We don't want this to be the primary display in our homes. If you're in college, that would be a different thing. So, now we're going to move to the breakfast nook and talk about table decorating there. Okay, we're now at the breakfast nook, which is another tabletop decorating opportunity. Here we have the same color tablecloth with the same color, and this is, again, another example of exact tone on exact tone. And, as I mentioned, the problems of les cat before, you can pick up one of these lint brushes, or a set of 6 at the warehouse, and just roll it on over, because this is looking quite nasty, even though I only changed this a few days ago. But the last thing you want is to have little dust things. It's really unprofessional.
You'd keep your darn cat off the table.
And not my cat. She's got some learning disabilities. Keep hoping she's going to get run over or something, but shoot, she's too stupid to even leave the house. Anyway, so let's finish doing this first before I talk about the decorations. Okay. Now it's perfectly okay to change decorations. Pause it. Stop it. Okay, as I was doing, again, there might have been a little bit of interruption. Apparently people call when I'm filming, and it's not planned. So, anyway, and nobody calls. I mean, no one.
And nobody ever calls. We get 2 calls a week. Right
Well,
in the middle of
nobody
filming.
who we want to speak to.
Hey.
And then actually people we want to speak to call, and then we don't have time to talk. So what can you do? Anyway, now here, what we've done is we've got a jar of pistachios.
Similar to the
Jar of olives.
jar of olives, only not quite as big as the jar of olives, but.
And making a dent in it slowly but surely. No problem with that, no worries. And if you'd like, you can sort of end the table with the little candle thing. And you'll notice, I know you're never supposed to turn your back to the camera, apparently, or something like that.
Yeah, but then if you trip and fall, I'm gonna laugh. And then the camera will shake.
Okay, now these are little food holders, and what I put in here is some Christmas candy and leftover Halloween candy. Is that too old now?
I think it's about time to retire the Halloween candy, yes.
Darn, I hadn't even tried it all. Okay, and this one, oh wait, this has...
Oh, my Pop Rocks. Give me some Pop Rocks. Excellent.
Okay, this has the Halloween candy and stuff. One of them actually has something interesting in it, or I thought one of them does. And then this has lemon cookies. So if somebody wants a little snack, you can give it to them right on the spot. And the other reason for having these decorations is so that if the cat, unfortunately, is on top of the table, she doesn't totally, take the tablecloth with her when she gets off the table. And again, what this does is it preserves the wood, which is not the best quality, but I did take some serious amount of time polishing it, and I just don't want that destroyed. Okay, now let's talk about a little bit of creative table topping. You can use anything to top a table. Now what I've done in the past is taken old sheets, or these are coverlets. Well, not really coverlets. I don't know what you call them. Anyway, they're sort of like these sheets from the old country that they used to cover like it's sort of like a feather bed thing, but it's not really a feather bed. Anyway, you can take this, and it's small enough, but not so small, and put it as a tabletop decoration. And then if you wanted to, you could match the stripes and put a runner along it. You'll notice here my motif color is blue. And you can change it, again, periodically. And during the winter time is when I tend to put something a little darker, like this, on the table. It helps if you have a seating arrangement that has benches, because this is wonderful, wonderful storage. I put in here like towels, aprons, tarp, tarp.
Tarp, yeah.
Okay. And
Are those big fish? No, that's a carp. Never mind.
I'm not a tarp. Who said I was a tarp? Okay. And again, you want to make sure you have matchings of things, because if you don't, there's really no point in getting a top, but not like the napkins. So if you're shopping for a sale, make sure you get the entire complete set. Otherwise, you're just going to feel incomplete. It's like seeing that favorite jacket you want and then you never get it, and then you dream about it for like pretty much the rest of your life. Like, shit, I really should have bought that purple jacket. So I have matching napkins, placemats, and the tablecloth. And if somebody at some Belgian lace store tries to make fun of you for getting that, don't let the salesperson intimidate you in any way, shape, or form. It's your money. If you want to buy all the pieces, go right ahead. Oh, and I don't believe in napkin rings. That's just a silly idea, but we can talk about how to get around the napkin ring problem later. Okay. And you'll notice everything's already ironed and pre-folded, so it's pretty easy to get to and to set up. So if you need to set up very quickly, you can do that. Now we're going to move to the other side and see what else I have. Also, you'll notice I have a bench here. So not only do I have seating all the way around, but also
Could you show a little more of the bench, please?
Oh.
There we go.
It's like showing your skirt. Okay. But also on the front, which thereby allows seating for everyone. Excuse me. And we always want to make sure the table is parallel to the sides of the bench. And I see here that it's not. So let me just adjust something right here. Okay. You always want to make sure everything's matching as much as possible. Okay. Now you can't see the bottom of this other half, so I'll have to just show you. Now, to keep with the blue and white motif, if I really wanted to, I have another tablecloth with a matching dark blue runner. And this is great for the fall. So you can do this. And then for that scenario, I also have matching napkins. And now these napkins, what I normally do when I don't have holiday festive candy, is I put these into one of these bins. Now you'll notice that they're blue and beige. That's totally allowed, that's perfectly okay, as long as you have the same number of both. So if you're going to get creative at a sale, be sure to match properly and match the right kind of fabrics. This is all that sateen.
Could you use 3 different colors and get them in sets of 3s? Would that be allowed?
You can do that. You can do that. I've done that with dishware.
So when you've got, for example, 6 people having dinner, you could bring out the sets of 3.
Right.
Okay.
Right. It's all about how many people you're expecting, how many people actually show up, and what pieces you have for serving dishes and for actual dishes. Okay. Now I have some nasty stuff that I'm probably going to expunge, but in the interest of the show, another dark blue, which is great with that winter winter runner I showed you before. And let's see, I've got these placemats, which are pretty basic. You can use placemats for a number of things, including to dry dishes on. They're wonderful. Now for that set I just showed you, I have these placemats, which aren't an exact match, but look, they do still fit into the general theme. Ta-da! Okay. Now I have some black and white stuff from the past, and what I do is I keep that for picnics. Even though I never go on a picnic, I still have every supply necessary to go on a picnic, should, somebody ever think of taking me on a picnic. Okay. I also have a nice white one, which is similar to this, but a little fancier and a little brighter beige. Again, napkins and a tablecloth. And I don't have a matching runner, that's why I've never put it on the table as yet.
I think I got a scarf that matches that one.
See? Okay. And then I've got some round tablecloths. Again, folded very carefully. Now what I do for a lot of these is, when you buy stuff, oh, here's more napkins for that thing. Oh. I was wondering where they were. When I buy things at the linen stores, I always save the plastic bags that they come in if they're nice ones, and then you just use a little bit of Goo Gone or Goof Off or whatever, and get the label off, so you don't have that sticky, crappy little label.
Called Gooby Gone, anyway.
Well, there's Goof Off also.
Okay.
Is it Gooby Gone or
I
Goo
think
Gone?
it's Gooby Gone or something.
Okay.
Anyway.
So you can use anything like that. And this way all your stuff is nice and sanitary and in little packages, so you don't have to mess up your whole stacks. And I know all these are napkins because they're in the same size, same pattern plastic bags. Now again, remember I said I had some nasty black and white. This is like really, 10, 15 years ago. It's ridiculous. But this is great for picnics. So that's why I keep that around. And then I have some more beige and a picnic tablecloth. Now you'll notice there's a lot of beige. That's because beige is one of the best neutral colors out there, and you don't want to ever be tied to one color for your decorations. You want to try to keep it nice and clean, and the lighter the color, the cleaner and more open and larger your house looks, and we know how important that is in this area. Anyway, so I hope I've given you some tips on tabletops and decorating those. And again, if you have any questions, send me an email. I'm the Anal Retentive Housewife, saying it's not just a show, it's a way of life.